Hey everyone, hope you're doing good. So I'm getting ready to go to California for a couple of weeks to visit my best friend slash brother and his family. And whenever I go there, I always prep my hair with a set of tiny twists since I'm going to be running and playing around with my little nephew. So I always do this style on dry, already twisted styled hair. I like the results so much better than when I do this style on wet hair. So this is my go-to method now. So to make this style a little more fun, I'm also going to be doing something kind of fall-y, Halloween inspired, and that is going to be using products that kind of evoke the season. So I got my little orange shirt and my friend here who took my seat, and I've got my hair parted in 5 different sections to work with. I'm going to be using the Soultanicals Afro Cider Twist Mist to get things going, to dampen my hair. Here are the ingredients, and this is actually a seasonal product that has come back recently if you want to check it out. Also going to be using the Uncle Funky's Daughter Defunk because the Soultanicals Twist Mist, I love it, but it does have a little bit of an apple cider vinegar smell that comes through as I showed you in the ingredients. So this product from Uncle Funky's Daughter kind of counteracts that a bit and also adds its own awesome ingredients to the mix for my hair and scalp as well. So I'm trying to figure out how big to make my section. I'm also going to be using this Healthy Sexy Hair Pumpkin Potion leave-in conditioner to dampen my hair because when I do this style, I don't want my hair to be soaking wet, but I do want it to be thoroughly detangled and pliable enough to take on the shape of the tiny twist and make the whole process a lot easier since it takes upwards of 6 hours usually. So I make sure to get my hair nice and detangled from the root on down. And last but not least, well, not quite, but I'm going to be using the Wetline Extreme, the Pumpkin Bumpkin Hair Oil, unfortunately from a brand that's no longer around, and the Main Crush Enchanted Hair Oil, also a brand that I believe is no longer around. And I'm going to be infusing that into my oil to give that Halloween fall little magic here and give myself some extra benefits, swirling that around with my finger into this Wetline Extreme Gel. Okay, I am going to be making sure to get the product fully on my roots, which is usually where my twists start to unravel and loosen. And usually my normal size twists start to unravel after a week. So my goal here is to make these last for at least 3 weeks. So when I twist, I start as close to the root as possible, since as I mentioned, that's where it starts to loosen the soonest. And also making sure to do the twist very taut so that it can stay together. 2 sections that I'm using to twist, I kind of separate them from each other and pull upward gently to make sure that it's nice and tight, and again prevent that unraveling, and then continue with the twist. So here's the first one done. It's not quite as tiny as a mini twist because that can cause my hair to tangle, but it's much smaller than my regular size twist, hence why I call them my tiny twists. So the last step that I do here is just to further twist the whole twist around my finger, and that's just to reinforce the twist itself and tighten it. And I find this gives me a really shiny, smooth look to my cuticle. And I've got one down and so many more to go. So next I am going to be pulling down another section. You still won't let me have my chair back, as we can see. So here's an up close shot of what the twist looks like.
I brought that in here for me. I'm going to be here for 6.5 hours. I got the living room all nice and cozy for you. What do you have to say for yourself? Oh. Okay. Smokey, can I at least have this little piece of seat and sit with you?
A little bit of product at a time. This is the gel. I've already sprayed my hair and applied that pumpkin leave-in, which by the way is absolutely amazing, and I've had this forever and a day, so I doubt that it's even still being made. So I have enough for like a 1 use left after this styling session, and I'm going to be thoroughly enjoying it. That stuff is magic. So I am smoothing my hair with the hair gel infused with those magical oils. My hair is curling up really nicely, making sure again to apply a good amount of product to the roots, especially since that's where that frizz and loosening starts to pop up first. And I'm also curious about trying this combination for a wash and go because I was really liking what I was seeing as far as curl definition throughout this process. So I'm going to be referring back to this video when I'm ready to do a wash and go next. I also just trimmed my ends. As you guys who've been with me on the channel know, my hair is damaged from messing it up big time last summer, and I still have a good amount of hair that is still a little rough. So these trims have been a lot more frequent than usual, and I think it helped the overall style turn out a lot cuter than if I would have waited to trim afterwards. So applying some more gel as I'm twisting to again give me that really nice shiny cuticle laid down look that also lends this style to lasting longer for me. Twisting and twisting, keeping things nice and taut. And here you can see that kind of separating the sections from each other motion that I mentioned while I'm twisting to keep it nice and tight because my hair can unravel pretty easily. So this really makes a huge difference, not only in the look, as I mentioned, that cuticle, that shine that I get, but also in the overall longevity, which is key for me doing this protective style. Getting to those little teeny tiny ends here. And then make sure to, again, do that twisting motion when I'm completely done with the twist, just to reinforce the shape, reinforce the tautness so that it can stay nice and together. And then sometimes I'll also take a little bit of gel on the very end just to further seal, or even I'll take some edge control. But I don't know where it is since I recently moved in and my products are kind of here, there, and everywhere at the moment. So I was lucky to find these pumpkin fall Halloween inspired products for this video that I'd envisioned, because if you guys saw what the product situation is like now, it is a hot mess. Making sure to do a ton of smoothing before I even get to the actual twisting. As you can see, here's that definition that I was mentioning that I liked. Starting things off right at that root area. Smoothing, and smoothing some more. Each step of the process when I apply a layer of products involves smoothing. And that's not just for this style. For any style that I do for my hair, because my hair is naturally coarse, I find that that makes a huge difference in how well it turns out. And it also makes a big difference with sealing in moisture since it helps me to lay my cuticle down. And I'm actually in California right now. I'm recording this at 6 in the morning under a blanket because the baby's room is right next door to me and I don't want to wake him up. So if I sound a little, I don't know, like I'm in a little cute cave or something, that's why. Getting to that root area, using my thumb to start the smoothing and further detangling, separating, a little bit of spray there, and then we get to twisting, keeping things nice and taut and tight for this style to last that 3 weeks that I always aim for when I do this style. And any days that I get after 3 weeks is just a bonus. And this one looks particularly tiny, but as you'll see if you've never seen me do my tiny twist, my hair kind of plumps up pretty nicely, even with my twist being this small when things are all nice and dry. And this time the process took me about 7 hours. I don't know if that's a good sign that my hair is getting thick again or a bit longer, but either way, I'm starting to feel the fatigue with doing it. I'm probably 2 hours in at this point, maybe even 3 by the looks of things, and this is when I start to disassociate a little bit when it comes to doing my twists. I always put on a really long podcast playlist or a video essay. My go-to is this YouTube channel called Novum. He does long form video essays of really dense movies like Midsummer, Hereditary, Beau's Afraid. He's a big Ari Aster fan, and those videos get me through when I'm doing a style like this because I can just listen. I don't have to worry about the visuals. His Midsummer video is over 6 hours, so it is perfect for a style like this where I need something that I can just zone out and get to twisting with. So if I'm doing my hair or if I'm doing a deep organization, or even when I was packing, I would frequently put on a Novum video. I'm going to be doing this more frequently as far as infusing oils into my gel because my hair is a lot smoother than some other times I've done tiny twists, and I think that the oil is a big factor. Pumpkin seed oil, which is an amazing ingredient for your scalp as well as your hair, is something that I want to incorporate more into my routine in general, both for topical use on my hair as well as internally. I did a whole challenge, I think 3 years ago, using products for the whole month of October with pumpkin seed oil, pumpkin butter, pretty much pumpkin everything, and my hair really seemed to enjoy it. So the long-term effects I am very curious about, especially since I am trying to grow out the rest of this damage in 2026. Where we are so far, I'm starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Well, maybe like a quarter bit of light. I still have so far to go, but this is a nice chunk done. I would say that at this point, I've been working on them maybe 4 hours or so. I've done this whole half of my head, I believe, and now I think I'm down to the last 2 sections. I have to check and see after I do this voiceover portion when we get back to the front of my head, but I'm making some pretty good headway. I really like the size of these. They look pretty uniform. I have to adjust a little bit depending on the section of my hair. For example, as I get to the front portion at my temples, I have to do the twist a lot smaller. Otherwise, they unravel super, super quickly. So I just kind of, go with the flow for the particular section and density that I'm working with. So on to this size, I think that was wishful thinking with thinking that I only had half of my head left to go. I think I had a little bit more at this point. So doing that same method of separating the 2 sections to keep things nice and tight for a nice, smooth, and long-lasting twist. Also twirling the ends there to help them further stay twisted and also give a cute little curly look at the end. Disassociating. Moving on to the next section. Loving the spring and bounce of these curls. Making sure to smooth the sections as I twist. Again, smoothing is a huge, huge key to how this style turns out for me. So now we're making some real progress here. I've got maybe 70% of my head done, but still a lot to go. But it's getting there. I really like the way that it looks. It smells absolutely amazing. These fall-y, Halloween-y inspired products for me smell like clove, cinnamon, sweetness. So amazing. And the ingredients also are fantastic. The Defunk itself, I picked this one because it pairs well with the Afro Cider, but also the packaging is very on brand for this video that I'm doing. But the smell of it, I always mention, is like Febreze for your hair. It's kind of like that fresh laundry detergent type of smell, and it's great for neutralizing odors. So this was a really good spray for me to use not only on my hair to play well with the Sultanicals product, but also because it's great for the scalp and neutralizing odors, since I'm going to be doing a protective style for at least 3 weeks with this. Moving on to the front section of my hair, the section that is going to be kind of played with and kind of front and center there literally. So I'm trying to be really intentional with detangling and smoothing this section, maybe even more so than the other portions, even though I try to be very consistent with all sections of my hair. But this section right here, for example, is one that unravels pretty easily because my hair texture, the curls themselves, start to get a bit finer and looser. So they want to jump ship and untwist sooner rather than later than the other sections of my hair. So I make sure to twist a little bit differently here, almost like a flat twist, but not to my scalp because I don't know how to do that, but kind of in that same vein. And I find that doing it in this type of motion, this slight difference, helps to keep it from unraveling a little bit easier. And also if I want to do my hair in different styles, like a half up, half down, this helps as well. Speaking of which, I ended up going with a middle part for my tiny twist this time. Usually I do a side part, which is my go-to for pretty much all my styles, a side part. But I wanted to play around with this in like a bun, different type of things like that. And I find that a side part doesn't lend itself well. So I'm going to be playing around with different styles this time. I'm going to be working on a video for that. I've been filming portions of it while I'm here in California, even though most of the time I just keep my hair up into a bonnet since I'm playing with John all day and he is fast. So on the rare occasions that we're going to be going out and about, I am going to be challenging myself this time to try simple, cute little styles with my tiny twists. Making sure to do that final motion and try to stay motivated. And voila, here we are. The tiny twists are done. Finally, 7 hours later, doing some smoothing at my crown here where I have some breakage just to discourage frizz that I get there. Air dry until I got to a point where I was comfortable enough going to bed with them. I went to bed with my hair still maybe like 40% damp, 60% dry, but I was tired, so that was just going to have to do. And here's the next day. I think my hair was maybe 90% dry, but you can definitely see where that shine and all that smoothing and those emollient moisturizing products came into play. When my hair is shiny and smooth like this, that lets me know that my cuticle is nice and laid, so moisture has a lot less likelihood of escaping my hair when my cuticles are like this, and it helps me to get as much time out of these twists as I can with them maintaining their softness and shine. And here is the day after that. My hair is completely dry. I am very fall ready. Will and I are going on one of our mini October traditions. We're going to a haunted hayride, haunted house situation that we love to go to every year. And I think that is a perfect cap to this fall-y inspired Halloween products video. Love the way my twist turned out. I'm still getting used to the lighting here, so I wanted to show you guys the depth of shine that my hair has. Considering where we started at the beginning of this video, my hair is incredibly healthy looking, so luscious. I love tiny twists. It is one of, if not the most healing style for my hair, which is why I'm going to be doing a lot more sets of tiny twists next year, because I am ready for my super healthy hair to make a comeback after that unfortunate bit of damaging it last year. And I am moving random boots in the background that I did not notice until I started filming. But yeah, my hair looks and feels amazing. It smells so good with these cozy, comforting fall scents just mingling in my hair from the different products that I use. Pumpkin, clove, nutmeg, cream, that sweetness, just so good. So I cannot wait to get back home and try this combination again on a wash and go and see what my results are looking like then, because I really enjoyed all these products. Really glad that I did a trim before doing these tiny twists. They turned out so good. Definitely trying this combination on a wash and go before the end of the year. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.